It's 12:01. We're going to start our agenda of this special meeting of the City Commission of Rio Grande City on today, Monday, June 24th of 2024. And the time is 12:01. Thank you so much for everybody that's here. We're going to start with roll call.
Okay. Mayor Falcon,
Present.
Commissioner De Leon,
Present.
Commissioner Del Barrera,
Present.
Commissioner Rogelio Olivares,
Here.
Commissioner Dolio Barrera.
Here.
We do have quorum, sir.
Thank you. Next, we move to the invocation, and I would like to ask Commissioner Olivares to lead us.
Thank you, sir. Dear Lord, we thank you for allowing us to gather here today to make decisions that are in the best interest of our city. We thank you for the rain that you have sent these last few days, the much needed rain. We ask you to bless all our citizens, all our employees, and we ask for wisdom, guidance, and discernment as we make decisions that can positively affect our city. We ask these things in thy holy name. Amen.
Amen. Moving forward with the Pledge of Allegiance, I would like for everybody to join me in the Pledge of Allegiance to our flag. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next to the Texas flag. Honor
I pledge the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Moving forward, as Ms. Solis just indicated, we have a quorum to proceed today. Ms. Solis, is there anybody that signed for the public forum?
No, sir, nobody signed up for public forum.
Moving forward to the consent agenda, and in section 2A, approval of minutes from previous meetings. A, City Commission regular meeting held on Wednesday, April 17th of 2024. B, approval of action taken at meeting of the rgc-tv board meeting held on April 17, 2024, and Thursday, June 20 of 2024. And item C, Planning and Zoning Committee meeting held on Thursday, June 13th of 2024. Any discussion in this matter? Do we have a motion to approve the meetings?
I move that we approve item 2A as presented.
Anybody seconds the motion?
I second.
Okay. Having seconded the motion, at this time, the motion is on the table. We're moving for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. On the consent agenda, 2B, travel requests. Do we have any discussion on the travel requests that have been submitted to this commission? Let's see. This includes some expenses for travel expenses for the new elected commissioners and mayor to the orientation training.
If there's no discussion, Mayor, I would like to move to approve item 2B as presented.
Does anybody second the motion?
Second the motion.
The motion has been seconded. All of those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We move forward to item 3, appointment of membership. 3A, discussion and possible consideration to take action taken by the Rio Grande City 4B Economic Development Corporation to appoint members of the EDC board. Discussion regarding this matter.
Mayor Commission, in your packet is a memorandum based on the last EDC meeting that was held on June 20th. The following nominations were made and we're now recommending to the council for approval. Dalinda Guillen, President; Linda Davila, Vice President; Mario Mendez, Treasurer; Fred Lopez, Secretary; Jose Guadalupe Garza, David Reina, and Ediel Barrera as board members. Also, we were able to draw out the names to ensure the staggering terms. So for a 2-year term, the names drawn were Jose Guadalupe Garza, Linda Davila, Mario Mendez, David Reina. For a one-year term, Dalinda Guillen, Fred Lopez, and Ediel Barrera. After the year's term, they'll all be 2-year terms, but it's just so they don't all expire at the same time.
Thank you, Ms. Hernandez. Was there anything else discussed during this meeting?
That the commission needs to take action, no. Aside from the minutes and this memorandum, that's it.
Any of the commissioners have any questions or concerns regarding these appointments? Does anybody would like to present a motion at this time to approve the action taken by the EDC?
So moved.
Does anybody second the motion?
Second motion.
Motion has been seconded. All of those in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries.
Thank you.
Moving to item 3B, discussion and possible selection of Mayor Pro Tempore. Any discussion regarding this matter? As we all know, we need to have an appointment as the Mayor Pro Temp. I would suggest that somebody makes a motion to appoint somebody from this commission.
We haven't discussed it. I think, can we move it to executive and then we'll do it after?
We can,
From legal, if I could, it would be a non-executive matter. It would have to be discussed in open session.
Okay.
right,
It's in the charter. It's required that we have
That
a
is
mayor
correct.
temporary.
Okay.
any self-appointments, any nominations?
A motion to approve, just select Mayor Pro Tempore for Ediel, nominate Ediel.
Okay. Does anybody second that motion?
I'll second the motion.
Okay. The motion has been seconded and it's now up for consideration. All of those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. And Mr. Ediel Barrera has been appointed as the Mayor Pro Tem. Moving forward to item 4A, being the second reading of ordinance number 2024-04. This is an ordinance annexing the hereinafter described territory to the city of Rio Grande City, Starr County, Texas, and extending the boundary limits of said city so as to include said hereafter described property within said city limits, and granting to all the inhabitants of said property all the rights and privileges of other citizens, and binding said inhabitants by all of the acts, ordinances, resolutions, regulations of said city, and adopting a service plan or agreement.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Commissioners. This is the second reading for the annexation of 70.07 acres. This is on the corner of Eisenhower and Fairgrounds. I believe it's right across from La Iglesia Emanuel. This is a voluntary annexation. We have already approved the service plan, the development agreement, and the public hearing has already been conducted. So it would be the final phase of this annexation until it makes it effective. Once it goes through this process, then we start notifying, especially the state and the county and the entities that are on the list.
Any discussion by the commission? Questions or concerns?
We're good.
I believe this is 70 acres, correct, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Yes,
More or
Mayor.
less. Okay. And it's at a corner?
It is a corner. We have spoken with the developer. He's proposing residential and commercial. All utilities are already to the site. There are no costs to the city. The development agreement has stated that we will honor his ag status until he starts developing. As he develops in phases, then those phases will come into the proper taxing classification at the appraisal district.
And is the preliminary intent to be a subdivision, or do we not?
Residential and commercial.
Okay.
That's his, in phases.
Any further discussion from the commission?
I move that we approve item 4A as presented.
Does anybody second the motion?
Second.
Motion has been second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries. Thank you. We'll move forward to item 5A, discussion, consideration, and possible action, resolution number 2024-23, a resolution authorizing the mayor to submit a grant application requesting funds for the estimated amount of $2,509,264 to the United States Department of Agriculture, USDA. This grant funding will be for the purpose of non-construction services for the new public safety building.
Yes, Mayor and Commissioners, this is the earmark funding we got from Congressman Cuellar. The money is diverted through the USDA, United States Department of Agriculture Agency. We had submitted the initial pre-application. Because of the time when the construction started and when we got funded, we had to move from construction monies to just purely equipment. And in your packet, you have the list of the equipment that will be funded. We did submit a total of $3,060,712. Of those, they will only fund up to the maximum of the grant, which is $2,509,264. Once this is already signed, this resolution, we send it up to Temple, Texas, that's the region office, and then they will obligate the monies down to, from Washington to Texas. Our next step will be to actually submit the clear checks reflecting some of this costs that we have already incurred, so they can reimburse the city.
And I think that you just mentioned that this application is based on reimbursement, correct?
Yes, sir, we're going to have to send copies of checks that have cleared the bank.
Right, so there's a list here of the items that are going to be purchased, and it's my understanding that the city has to purchase all of these items directly with city funds, and then this grant will actually reimburse the amount spent on the listed items.
Some of the funds were purchased directly from city funds, and some of them are part of the public safety building contract that we have with Gerlach. Gerlach is providing some gun racks, mattresses for the firefighters. They have compressors, units, high-ticketed items, the elevator. So all of those equipment are part of the pay applications for Gerlach. So we're going to show those invoices where we have paid those to Gerlach, and then we'll get reimbursed.
Right.
And of course,
So the construction company will also do some of the purchasing on the city's behalf. And
as
then-
part of their contract. Correct, sir.
Any discussion or questions from the commission?
Some of the questions good afternoon. Some of the questions I've received from community members is this is not going to affect the grand opening of that public safety building, right? In case we don't receive the monies on time?
No, sir, not at all. We do have a commitment with Gerlach, with the contract. The contract is not with USDA. And we anticipate that this monies, because most of this will be requested within the next 2 weeks, if less, we'll probably get them within 2 months. We do have a substantial completion on July 31st, anticipating that we'll give them maybe 30 to 45 days to finish that punch list. We don't want to go in and they're still working on the punch list. And then, of course, the furniture company do not want to go in until they're out, so they won't mess up the furniture.
Thank you.
So your estimate would be like in September, sometime in September perhaps?
Yes,
If all
sir.
goes well?
Yes.
Any further discussion or questions from the commission? Is there a motion to approve item 5A?
I so move.
Does anybody second the motion?
Second.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Motion is up for consideration. All of those in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries. Moving to resolution 5B, discussion, consideration, and possible action to approve resolution 2024, a resolution of the city of Rio Grande City, Texas, finding that AEP Texas Inc. requested increase to its electric transmission and distribution rates and charges within the city should be denied, finding that the city's reasonable rate case expenses shall be reimbursed by the company. Finding,
Good afternoon, Commission. As it says, should be denied. AEP is still, for your information, AEP is still the owners of the lines and meters. So this would definitely be the case to save on some of the charges they're proposing. We've had these proposals before and they have been historically denied. Staff recommends denial.
okay. And I think that the proposal is that there's a request that the rates are increased.
Correct.
Okay. And obviously, the resolution at this very moment is that said request to increase the rates be denied.
Correct. And like I said, this has been done before and we will join other cities valley-wide in the same manner.
Other cities are denying it also?
Correct, yes.
Do you have the numbers, the rates they want to increase?
It was $8.29 per 1,000 kilowatt hour. It was an increase of about $2.09 when it was first proposed. We are part of a coalition of cities that have maintained jurisdiction over our public utility matters with regard to electricity. Others have actually given jurisdiction over to the Public Utilities Commission. So we're one of the ones that maintain jurisdiction, and we joined, as Mr. Milanes correctly noted, we joined in a pact with several other cities that have original jurisdiction. Everybody's represented pretty much by the same law firm. The fees for that law firm are also being paid by AEP. And this is their recommendation to us, is they've negotiated with AEP and said, look, this increase that you're asking for is a bit too much for the infrastructure investments that you've made. We need to bring it down a little bit more. By statute, they're required to bring it before the commission in order for us to approve whether or not it's reasonable. And so their recommendation is to deny, and AEP should be coming back with another proposal.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we accept staff's recommendation and deny the request.
Does anybody second the motion?
I second.
The motion is up for consideration. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Motion carries. The denial has been granted. Moving to item 6A, under contracts and agreements. A, discussion, consideration, and possible action regarding the approval of expenditures and contracts value less than $50,000 but more than $5,000 that comply with or are exempt from section 252.0215 of the local government code.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Commissioners. In your package, you're going to find, I'm requesting two payments. One of them issued to Cantus Construction for a 380 agreement that the city has with them for the infrastructure development that's over by Lone Star on Hospital Road. We got representatives from Cantus Construction here. Do you all have any questions for them?
And
How much is that one?
$276,487 with 99 cents. This will be the final payment of the agreement that the city has with them. The agreement was for a total of $1,184,911 with 92 cents. Half of which was going to be paid by EDC and the other half by the city. And like I said, this is going to be the final payment that we issue out to them. I also submitted a copy of the agreement. You all can take a look at it, and again, if you have any questions, they have representatives here.
And this was to pay water lines, sewer lines?
Anything included with infrastructure. I'm not sure what all that would entail.
So it's a total of one point what?
$1,184,000. We would reimburse them half of their expenditures. So up until now, they should be over $2 million off of their pocket. So we're reimbursing half of what they expense.
Okay.
All up until 1,184,000.
And from the top of your head, how much is the total investment for Cantu Construction in 3167?
I don't know off the top of my head. I think, does anybody have an answer?
For the complete development?
Yes.
For up to 4 million. Morning.
Morning.
4 million will be the total investment for the infrastructure, for the development.
No, but I mean, the total development, how much was it?
In 17 buildings, actually, we just applied for the first 4 building permits.
Okay,
I will say an average of 2 million per building. I'm just like rounding up
Yes.
numbers, like I would say around 45 million total.
45 million?
Yes, it's 17 buildings total on the development.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
If I may, those buildings are at least 4, and each one is over 10,000 square feet.
Yeah. Thank you for believing in Rio Grande City.
Thank you for your support. Thank you.
Any further discussion or consideration regarding this particular payment?
I just want to make clear that this is a $45 million investment from a private company, and the contribution from the EDC and the city, it's about $2 million, right?
1.2. 1.2 million.
Okay. Less than 1.5 million, good.
Anything else? Do we have a motion on this item?
Are we approving all of the invoices or just this particular item?
We can,
I think it's all.
we can definitely, let's consider the rest of them, and then we'll move as one. Or if we don't approve one, then we'll exclude that one. I think that's gonna be easier.
I also included a payment there for 18,600. That's for a budget software that we use. They're the finance department. This is going to be the 3rd year that we use it. We entered into a 3-year agreement with them. It's very helpful to help us create the budget. Every department goes in there, proposes their own budget proposals. We can discuss this more into detail, because I think this would be the last year that finance department will use it, but we can discuss it more when we go into the budget workshop if we.
The one that says need to get paid before, or they will interrupt services, which one was that one, sir? That's the one you're talking about?
No, I'm not sure who's looking at that one.
No, that's the one you're referring to, the 18,000.
The cyber link
The
liability.
which one? The Vertisoft?
The Rio Grande Valley Communications Group invoice.
No, mine's 18,600. This is for this has no interruption on it. Just we need to pay.
Which is that, sir?
Yes, they need to get paid before next
Page
year.
96.
Page 96, yes.
You have.
Mr. Olivares is making reference to page 96 of the packet.
Yeah.
Oh,
iWorks.
okay. Oh, yeah, that's iWorks. That's a software that's used by every department to work on the work orders. That's
On the website?
planning, on the work orders. Planning uses it, water department uses it, public works uses it. So basically, it's a software where whenever somebody goes in there and they have a work order, they put it in there, and the staff looks at it, and then they start working. I think Mr. Milan works more with it.
It's used for permits too.
Okay.
And then the
POs? No,
appraisal.
it isn't, you have a different one?
Yeah, that's a
Appraisal
different one for
quarterly
appeals.
payment.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and then there's another one for the appraisal quarterly payment. Those we pay every quarter to them. This would be the last one for this fiscal year.
That's on page 112. So as far as the finance department, that's what we have currently, and then we also have from the public utilities department, the clarifier.
Yes. Good afternoon, Mayor and Commissioners. I do have, I believe it's on page 100, and there's a memorandum there.
Page what, I'm sorry?
100, sir. Yeah. Let's see, make sure. So we did have an emergency back in early May with one of our clarifiers. We have currently 2 that we operate, sir. One of the gearbox shaft, you can see some of the photos, it messed up. It's, wear and tear after 20 plus years. So in order for us to continue with the sewer and everything, we need to have, we ran without it, obviously, once we got this approved, about 2-3 weeks, and we noticed the backup, the smell in the city. I mean, obviously, our capacity, we need to have at least 2 operating right now. And this is part of the sewer expansion that's coming up, hopefully, already in August. So we did file this as an emergency, sir, and I provide the pictures, and I believe the total for $24,550. That was with the materials and everything. That was to replace it's a 12-foot shaft, and the bearings and everything that went in, the whole process of it.
just to clarify, this was something that was absolutely necessary.
Yes, sir.
At the time.
Yes, sir. Actually, we met with the former city manager and 2 commissioners, and we also had Mr. Cantu there with us, and my supervisor. We went over logistics and everything. Of course, the pros and cons of if we do, we wait, or can we wait longer? And it's one of the necessities to provide sewer services.
Right. And payment has been issued.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any questions on that matter?
Monthly expenses.
Do we have a backup right now for those chains?
No, sir. We
No.
don't. No, Commissioner, but no.
What is your recommendation to have one?
My recommendation, Commissioner Barrett, at the moment, I know we're hoping the sewer expansion project it was taken off already. We're in the process of it. So that's going to help a lot of the issue because we are currently over capacity. So, and that's why we're doing the expansion as it is. But we don't have one certain line. I can look into it definitely. We can invest in something. But I didn't want to kind of make an expense within the next year or so. We're going to be able to hopefully operate with the newer expansion. But that's something we can look into. Yes, we do have to clarify. That is correct, yes. Yeah. So one goes down, we're able to operate like we did, meanwhile, 2-3 weeks, but we could only operate so much of it because it's a lot of waste, a lot of sewer, sludge, and just.
What is the lifespan of this new one?
This one, Commissioner, it was, I believe it's over 21 years or 22 years. Yeah. It's just the wear and tear, it shafted, it just gave out on us.
I understand. Yeah, it happened.
Oh, sorry.
No, just to add to what Mr. Brown was saying, so this clarifiers start scraping up solids and they start settling down. So when one is down, the process is doubled on the employees and staff because they have to start removing faster sludge out of there. You don't want the sludge to go up more than 2 feet. The water that we received, so right now they're working like around the clock basically, but now that the new clarifier is going on or repaired, now they can alternate to both. When we do the expansion, they're going to do a brand new clarifier, larger, and these that are there will become like sludge digesters to break down the sludge faster.
It's going to be an upgrade, a complete upgrade, yes.
Yes.
How about the
And it-
maintenance?
And it won't also, by having that, it won't endure the substantial use of every day, 24 hours of like the pounding and everything. The maintenance, so we currently, our operators are there, they currently maintenance, they're checking daily, sir. They're like on a schedule and everything.
Okay.
They make sure that doesn't, obviously, when we see oil and stuff, you can tell right off the bat, so so we start cleaning it out and everything. We go to hold the, court enforcement regarding the oil, we discuss that. We try to make initiatives to,
How about, I see it has ball bearings and
Yes.
shafts, so are those
They
maintenance?
will replace, yes, it remains, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, these are constantly under wastewater, the bottom.
Yeah.
And we're moving gears and all that, so they do grind up a lot.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, they do. Yeah, so when we drain the clarifier, that's when we do the maintenance you're talking about, so it does happen, yes.
Okay.
Any further questions regarding this payment?
No.
If there's
Thank you.
no questions or discussion, Mayor, I would like to move that we approve item 6A as presented.
Is there anything else that we have not discussed, Ms. Solis, regarding,
As far as payments, it's the
we still have some,
regular monthly payments by Ms. Beas,
and I think that there's also a payment for Meldon and Hunt.
yes, that's on page 46. That's
Do we
what
have
I'm
a
referring to.
representative from Meldon and Hunt today here? No?
they're usually not asked to be present on payments.
I'm sorry?
They're usually not asked for on payments, they only come by action items.
Okay. And then we also, there was a payment for $63,561 for Meldon and Hunt. And the reason I was asking, just so that they could give us an update as to the design that they're proposing, or at a minimum that we get a report soon after this payment, because I don't think that the new commission and the Mr. Olivares and Mr. De Leon have seen the renderings or designs of any of the work.
There was,
When was their last report?
the last report, well, I want to say was maybe about 4 or 5 months ago, and they did show a rendering of current status of the facility and where they were going to be adding. And like we had this conversation last week,
Yes.
they are up to date with the reports. Eric and I are working on a report that they need on conservation so they can add it to their category D, a report that's going to EPA. That being finalized, then the project as a whole will be certified. And when I say as a whole, it means not only the sewer plant, but also the collection line all the way to El Quixote. EPA considers the two sites as one project.
And according to their numbers, when are they thinking that they can be finalized in the design?
The last meeting we had projected for going out to bids in August, not later than September. I believe the electrical plants, which were lacking from 2 months ago, are already complete. That was the only thing that was lacking. Now they just need to submit this to Texas Water Development Board for approval. Once they approve it and they have no changes, then we can go out for bids.
Okay. Any other questions from the commission regarding this item?
I do have some questions. Ma'am, this rehabilitation plan, this is something that I personally requested about 3 months ago during the campaign.
Yes, sir.
Was any of those requests ever got to your office?
There was an email, yes, requesting information. I did submit a status statement.
You did?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I never got it. So now, how much is gonna be the cost of that project?
The project just for the sewer or the total project with the El Quixote sewer line?
Just for the sewer?
The sewer will be like around 8 million,
8 million?
Yeah.
Okay. Have we done the budget for that project?
The initial budget was done about 4 years ago.
How many?
4 years ago, the initial budget.
2020?
Yes, sir. That was when the application was first submitted to the Texas Water Development Board. Since then, they added the North American Development Bank monies to extend the project. What NatBank does is provide like 50% of the cost for the project, but they also they had to add the collection system to El Quixote. So
And
that's
how much is that
another,
collection system gonna cost?
that's about around another 8-9 million.
Okay, and how is the city gonna fund that project? Let's start with the first one. Is there a way to
We already
finance
have,
it?
We already have the financing. It's about 7 point some million from the Texas Water Development Board.
Through
It's a
grant,
It's a
loans?
70, I believe it's a 70-30. 70% loan and 30% grant.
We got it since when?
21, 20?
Yeah, we got those funds, they're in an escrow account. We received those funds, I think, 2020. It was 7.2 million. 5 of those was a grant and 2.2 million was a loan. We already started paying on those since actually 2020 when we received the money.
So 70 was a loan or a grant?
5 million was
I thought that
a
was
loan. 5 million with the loan.
The other way around.
Yeah, my bad, I'm sorry.
So 5 million, we have a loan of $5 million since 2021 right now. How much money have we paid on interest on that?
I don't have the exact number here, but the interest.
Do you know the APR?
They're bonds, so I'm not sure.
I believe on that was 1 some percent, but I can get that information for you. I'll email it.
2%, kind of?
These are the 30-year or 20-year bonds?
I want to say it was a 20-year bond.
20-year bond. $5 million, right?
I want to say probably we paid like 120,000 of interest each year, I want to say. So.
How much?
3 years, I want to say like 120,000 each year in interest.
Give me a second to get some numbers. Well, if it's a 2%, well, it's about $120,000 a year. So in 4 years, we have paid over $1 million in just interest for something that it's taking 4 years to complete. A project like that, is that normal, Ms. Beas?
No, sir. If it was a standalone, we would already been completed. When I say standalone, if we did not have to involve NADBank, but NADBank, has their other requirements. So it kind of was on hold while we met NADBank's requirements to complete that other portion of their requirements. This project, if we did not do anything to El Quixote, we could have started some time. But
Can it be done without, could it be done without El Quixote, just the sewer plant with the monies that we have already, the $5 million loan, where we have paid $500,000 on interest plus the $2 million grant? Could it be done separately?
just by itself?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Just out of curiosity, if we already have the money from that loan, if it's just sitting there, are we earning interest on it?
No, we're paying.
Well, it's earning interest, but we're not receiving that money because it's in an escrow account.
Okay.
So.
But it's building up.
Yeah, it still generates interest.
Yeah.
Okay.
So to make it clear, we have paid $500,000, we haven't received anything, basically, for 4 years.
Last meeting that I was involved in with Melvin Hunt, they told us that we should be able to develop the whole project with the $7 million that we had there. Because my concern was that, everything's going up on prices, so my concern was that it was gonna be much higher than the $7 million that we had.
Yes.
And we needed a budget for that, but they assured us that it was gonna be able to be done with the same amount of money that we have in the bank already.
Did we receive any form of writing assurance that the project was not gonna go over? Attorney?
No, we were at a meeting, I think, both me and Ms. Veas,
Eric.
Eric, were present in the meeting. We just discussed, it's at the final day, it's not gonna be up to them, I think it's, they give us the plans, they should give us, an estimate of how much it cost, but they assured that it wasn't gonna go over. And my concern was that if it wasn't go over, what were we gonna have the money for?
Exactly. So it was a good question, but I think we didn't cover ourselves on that at all. Because just look what happened with the public safety building. From 7, it went to 11. So let's expect something, Commission Mayor, from the company who's gonna do the bids, or from Meldon and Hunt. Now, how much money have we paid to Meldon and Hunt so far?
Should be close to $500,000.
Close to what?
No.
Close to $500,000. And do you know the total cost they foresaw us having?
Their,
Just their hourly rate.
their agreement?
Yes.
Commissioner?
For their project, for
They
Meldon and
have-
Hunt?
They have an agreement for the whole project, which is for both the sewer line and the sewer plant.
Okay. So $1 million based on page
47.
Oh, yeah. So the first one is 592,000. I believe that's the sewer plant, right? So
But-
we have paid already $500,000. So basically, we have paid them 90% of what they're asking, and we still have not received anything?
No, sir. If you look at, you're looking at their invoice?
Yes.
Okay, so if you look on the top, it says design phase.
Okay.
So for design only, for the water treatment plant is 592.
Do we have the design?
That we have what?
Do we have the design with us already?
Not 100%.
Okay, and that's my point. We have pay them almost 100% of the design. And based on my experience, every time I request something, a drawing or something, the payment should be relevant to the work, the progress they have done. And based on what you're telling me, that they're supposed to bring something to the table almost 4 years later, and you have paid them $500,000, I think somebody dropped the ball here.
No, sir, all due respect, the 500, you'll notice they're at 56. Other payments have come out of other categories in this invoice.
I'm going based on what Mr. Cantu just told me, that they have paid $500,000 for that particular project.
But the project requires feasibility studies, environmentals, permit application to amend the permit.
Yes.
It's not all design.
Deliveries to the state and all that, I'm aware. But my question is, on percentage-wise, how much have they submitted on everything?
This is 56%.
56?
This one is.
On design,
Okay.
on design only.
Okay. Do you have a copy of that 56% on design?
A copy
Of
of,
their design, yes.
And the environmental report, if possible.
You have it?
Yes.
we have the plans.
You mean like the blueprint right there?
Yes.
Yes. It's about 50%.
Okay, so it correlates with what we have paid.
And I'll have a chance, I'll get it out.
Okay.
We also have the environmental approval for a categorical exclusion. There's an environmental that has to be done. They review it, then they say, okay, it's done. And it's not just a form you submit, it's an actual report on the.
It's an actual report.
Yes.
Do we have that one or not?
Yes, we do, and we have it already approved. We got in a categorical exclusion because we're not moving outside of the permitted area. We also have a approved permit where we amended the state permit from a 1.5 million gallons per day capacity to a 1.94 million gallons per day capacity. Again, that requires a different report to TCQ, they review it, it's a process.
Yes.
And so all that work is part of the $500,000 that Mr. Cantu is referring to as payment. So not all the $500,000 have gone into the actual design.
When was the last time they sent some work done?
Last week, when they submitted the category.
Last week, right after we took office?
No, sir, this has been ongoing, category A, B, C, and D. This is categories that are related to a feasibility report to NatBank. So they were behind on that, they have caught up. What they're requesting from us, the city, was the
Cut up? Did they give a reason why?
why they were delayed.
Yes.
I believe we had a meeting with them, and basically he was working by himself, he got sick, he didn't move forward. So we were delayed for about 7 months, 7 to 8 months.
7 to 8 months.
Yes, sir.
So maybe like from November of last year, it's been delayed.
No, actually it was before that.
Well, actually, in December, they started working because
So they stopped it for how long?
8 months.
8 months, okay. That's all what I wanted to know. So the project, a very important project for our city for infrastructure, was stopped because they got sick or any other given reasons. Thank you.
I'm sorry, I don't know if I missed this, but do we already have the funds for the collection system?
Did we, I'm sorry?
Do we already have those funds, or we don't?
Yes, the whole funds related to the project are already in the escrow account.
Okay, so we have 7 or 14?
Including the Quixote?
No,
Yeah,
not
he's
the
asking about
Quixote.
the Quixote.
Yeah,
No.
I'm asking from the
Oh.
other section, the Quixote.
No, until the project is certified. And that's what he's doing. And like I say, this is the other agency's requirements, since they're taking it as a whole.
And this collection system that makes reference is that project, El Quixote?
Yes.
Okay, and, because I see that Meldon and Hunt here is already setting a fee, and I was wondering if we already had any of those funds, or if the city is gonna pay for those upfront and then try to get reimbursement or apply for some funds?
On the collection
the city's
system?
paying us some for everything right now. Then we get the only reimbursement that we've received is from NatBank.
Right,
Texas
but,
Water River has been,
but on the first project, we already have the money in an escrow, right?
it's in
Yes.
escrow, but we don't.
It doesn't go up.
We have to
Yeah,
submit reimbursement.
but we know that it's
Yes.
already available.
Yes.
For the second project, we don't know if the money's gonna be available, that's my question.
Yes.
Right.
NatBank won't give us a commitment letter. That's the way they work. They don't work the same way as the TWDB. They give you a commitment letter right off the bat. They don't, I'm not sure how they work, but, I mean,
Is it contingent on the first phase being complete and then, or no?
No, sir, they call a certification process, and the way they go about it is they do the preliminary design and application part, and that's the part that we're on right now. Then they move on to the design, and they'll give us another agreement on the design where they pay, 100% at up to $500,000 for design. When the design is approved, then they'll commit up to $8 million, and that is 100% grant.
So for the second project, the collection one, the Quixote, have we paid any monies to any companies?
No.
No, good.
Yeah, if you go,
Okay.
I don't think that.
For, I'm sorry, Commissioner Barrera, when you say companies like Meldon Hunt,
Yes.
we have paid for the feasibility study, not for actual construction or anything,
To Melvin and Hunt or
to Meldon Hunt.
okay.
They're working on, it's concurrent, the treatment plant and the Quixote project. So as they work on each component, that's how they're billing as one.
Okay.
Maybe if there's expenses like this in the future, maybe it might be a good idea to break protocol and ask the company to be here so they can answer the questions directly.
Yes, definitely.
Yes, sir, Commissioner. I said
Especially
we had,
with these high amounts.
Yeah, yeah, because these amounts are, well, it's also an educational process for us so that we can get informed as to what is their progress, what are they doing, questions that we may have, such as the questions pitched by Commissioner Barrera.
we can certainly also have representatives from NetBank, Mr. Carlos Acevedo out of El Paso, to be here.
As far as the funding, I don't know if at this time that's the
Since,
question, but rather when money is actually going out, I guess that's when the questions start surfacing in the way that some of these commissioners, they don't have the information or that luxury, and I think that it would be wise that if the commission is going to be approving some of these payments that are going to be on the higher end and expensive on such big projects, that the commission gets well informed as to what's the status, what are they doing, what is this money for actually, rather than just sending out the money with that information.
And without representation.
we will get,
Obviously, I understand that this might come to you as a surprise because the prior commission was already
Yeah.
well informed of the project, right? And typically, maybe they didn't need that information, they didn't need a representative. But as we come in, it's difficult to get very well informed about some projects and trying to get up to speed and then putting the responsibility on the commission to approve some of these major payments.
understood, sir. Definitely, we will get everybody that's involved with the project to be present, so you are able to get that direct information from them. And it is a, kind of like a complicated because of the other agency coming in. Unfortunately, that's what even before had been approved.
Right.
So,
Yes, so I understand it started, and even, just as you mentioned, it started as one project, and then one project merged with the other one, and now it's being treated as a single project with two entities. Part of it has been funded, the other section has not been funded. We're getting billed, so there's a lot of questions that are gonna surface regarding those projects. And just as Commissioner Olivares was indicated, we might need to break protocol and bring some of these individuals that are gonna be presenting their bills for approval, given that the commission might have some questions about this item.
yes, sir.
Like I said, I'm sure that it comes to you as a surprise because nobody mentioned to you to have a representative from Meldon and Hunt, but for the future, so until we get completely informed about this project, we would like to have some representatives from major construction companies.
And we'd welcome, the opportunity at any time to take a tour with them there at the plant and in the area, so you can see everything that's going to be coming in
I appreciate
into
that.
the plant.
Thank you. Any further discussion or consideration regarding this matter?
So the motion for the commission would be to postpone a decision on item 6A to a later date?
On Not yet, Council. Not yet, Counselor. Because we already have a contract with them, correct?
Yes, sir. When we went out for qualification statements, we had 8 or 9 firms that responded. They were scored, and the agreement was approved.
Okay. What do we have next in terms of
Payments.
payments?
Did you all
Services
need
agreement.
questions on the one, also on the memo for Gerlach?
For Gerlach, that is a 500 and,
Page 46 of 174 are the 2 payments that are subject to item 6A.
okay. It's my understanding that is a routine payment for the construction of the public safety building, correct?
Yes, sir.
Is there anything out of the original contract within this payment?
So-
Or is it just in furtherance of the contract that we have with them?
This payment is based on their pay application, all the list of items, and some of them are at 100%. That means that they've already been completed. And then some of them are at 90 or 48. And so on those where you see on the H column, that's what this, that's the balance that they still need to finish.
Right. Does this payment involve any change orders or anything like that, modification from the original contract?
No. If there were any costs being charged to change orders, they would be on the front page. But since the change order was barely approved at the last meeting
Yes.
for the bathrooms, so that will barely come in on the application that they'll turn in probably this week.
Okay. Anybody's got any questions regarding that matter? What else do we have pending? I think there was also a fleet payment. Is that included here?
Thank you.
Also the trash collection.
For those commissioners that were not aware, there's also a fleet payment here on page 66. This is a fleet of vehicles from the Public Works. Public
Enterprise. That's for, I believe, 12 vehicles, something like that? Yeah, they got a total of 12 vehicles. We approved that contract back in 2022.
Right.
In 2022, when we received the last vehicle. Remember when the last vehicle?
December, so the last 2.
The last 2. We received the last 2 vehicles in December. So basically on those, we pay them monthly. It's kind of like a lease.
Right.
They come with a maintenance contract in there also, so any maintenance that they need, we just take it to any of the service areas that they approve, and they take care of all the maintenance.
And this fleet actually replaced the vehicles that they had, correct?
Right, that's correct. We still have the old vehicles here, but they're in the process of coming and picking them up already.
How efficient is this fleet, Mr. Cantu, money-wise and maintenance-wise, compared to the ones we have?
Well, the
Well,
maintenance
they're-
was included.
Yeah, but in a timely manner, like, if you send them here locally, something for maintenance, maybe it can take 1 day, half a day.
We believe it's a very good program because, I mean, we don't know much about the maintenance that the vehicles require, so whenever they take something to be maintained, they have to call Enterprise. Enterprise approves all the expenditures, and they keep track of whatever maintenance they're being done on each vehicle. So we also have a webpage where we can go in, we can check all the details on each vehicle, and we make sure that all the maintenance is being done. If the oil's not being changed like every 5,000 miles, gives you an alert. You gotta send it in and make sure that the maintenance is being done. Tires, they're not included in the maintenance, but they do call them in, and they give us a recommendation as far as to what tires would be best, instead of just us going in there and getting either the most expensive or tires that are not recommended for the kind of vehicle that we have. So I think it's a good program. This was gonna serve as a prototype to see how it would work for the whole city. Like I said, we just received the last 2 vehicles in December, so we're still working with it, and we pay the monthly fee, so I mean,
Have you compared the expenses with our own vehicles compared to this fleet on a
Well,
yearly
these are-
basis?
These are new vehicles, so we haven't had many expenses aside from the regular maintenance and tires that we've replaced on them. Nothing else is out of the ordinary.
A couple of fenders here and there, but everything, they're brand new.
Yeah, they're brand new, so.
The only downfall that we have is when we received the vehicle, when I came in, we hadn't received all the vehicles, so we were constantly waiting for, we have Dodge, we have Chevys, GMCs and Fords. I believe it was supposed to be one line of
It was
vehicles,
supposed
but
to be all
the
Fords.
manufacturing, there was a strike at one of the Detroits and all that, so it really prolonged the situation. That's the only downfall that I have. But the maintenance is great, it really keeps us, it logs everything for us, we know what's going on in the system. And it's good for trading value, that's the purpose behind a lease, obviously to trade it back in.
Yes.
To be always like with a new vehicle.
Where do they take them for maintenance? Is it, they
We
work
have
with local?
put tires on board our dealerships, there's
Yeah.
about 4 locations here that is approved through fleet.
Oh, so they work with local?
Yes.
Oh, that's great.
That's great, okay.
We try to add one more. I'm not sure what the status is on that.
They check their credit score, the company's business, BP, all that stuff to make sure their credit accredited.
Anything further regarding this matter?
One last question for you, Mr. Cantu. The lifetime span for these vehicles that we currently have, what will be like,
On the fleet?
yes,
On the fleet, Enterprise is supposed to be checking the vehicles, the maintenance that we do on them, and they're supposed to be checking the book price on the vehicles. They're supposed to tell us when's the best price for us to, change them and get
Okay.
new ones. That's when we can get the better value out of, we trade them in. But if we don't trade them in, we have them for 4 years.
okay. And the ones that we currently have, that we own, what will be that lifetime span?
Aside from the new ones that we just bought a couple of months ago, we have old vehicles, old fleet for departments. Some of them as old as 20 years, I want to say. 2001s, 2010s, 11s, so.
I imagine they give you a lot of trouble. Well,
They
they
do.
give the different departments, right?
As far as maintenance and repairs, yes.
Okay, so that's something that we might have to take into consideration just to bring them to a newer year so that we can avoid problems. I think that will benefit every department,
Yes.
having to send them to shops or maybe having more of those fleets
Yeah, I
rented.
think-
That will be
I
maybe
think
some.
what this does is it's a big plus because it helps us keep track of all the maintenance that's being done on this vehicle. Right now, that's kind of a problem that we have because whenever we do something and we ask, or we want to know when the last time that something like that was done on that vehicle, nobody has record on it. so-
Okay, thank you.
All right, moving forward from this item, we move to some of the other regular payments we have, but was mentioned by Commissioner Olivares, some grande garbage payments, and I also saw a surveyor payment for Saints. Is that
Yes.
part of the public safety?
That's part of the project that we discussed about the drainage project. So that engineering work was completed and that project was advertised, and we were able to get those 3 bids back. We haven't awarded the contract, but the engineering work was completed and that is their payment.
And, well, just so that the commission is informed, my understanding was that this was going to be a drainage issue that was going to be addressed between the city and the school district, and because they were supposed to build a new building there.
Yes.
And then ultimately, they decided not to go forward with it, but we still need that drainage.
Yes,
To
so,
be
so the original
resolved.
plan was that the school district would be building behind the public safety building. That project was not done, and our public safety building is about ready to be completed, so we still need a drain to the creek. And the drainage, that particular property has reverted back to the EDC, so it is an EDC property now. So we need to run the drainage over to the creek for the public safety building and that whole subdivision.
Any questions regarding that, the grande garbage and this other item?
Well, I have a question. In case the school district moves forward in the future with the performing arts, they're going to be needing what we're about to propose, right?
Well, they don't have the land anymore.
They no longer have the land because it was written that way that it had to be a performing arts center. They had a time frame, and if not, it automatically got reverted back to the EDC.
Oh, so it expired
belongs to
already.
the EDC.
Okay,
So it'll serve as a property for the E EDC.
okay.
Okay. I think, are we missing any other payments to be discussed or
Well,
considered?
on the payments, we have Mr., what's your name, sir, from Cantu Construction? Can you come forward, please?
Yes.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
You're requesting, how much is that payment that is requested?
376,000.
And how far are you or your company on that project?
And the development, I will say by now, storm drain 80%, sewer 75%, and water 45%.
Okay, and these funds, are these the last funds?
Yes, part of the agreement of the 1.1 million, yes.
Okay, so $300,000? This is basically what you have covered so far in progress, right?
Yes.
What's missing, okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to clarify that, making sure that the money that has been given to you has been used in the same timely manner that it was meant
Yes.
to be.
Yeah, and actually, the total investment that we have up to date on the development is more than 3.5 million total.
Okay. And when is your expected completion time
October, November of this year.
for
For the
the?
infrastructure, everything. And actually, we are planning to start the 4 buildings that I was mentioning before next month, during July.
Thank you for everything, sir.
Thank you.
If I may, Commissioner, we have some staff members who have personally done inspections of the infrastructure on that project.
Any further discussion or consideration, concerns regarding the payments? Do we have a motion to approve
I made a motion about.
as it has been
yes,
presented?
I so moved.
Does anybody second the motion?
I second.
Okay. Having a motion up for consideration, now it's up for vote.
Mayor, if I may, is this on all the items included on that item?
Yes, that's what I was asking, whether or not the motion was for all items as presented, so that there's no confusion.
My opinion, I do not approve the ones for Meldon and Hunt for, I need clarification on that and I need to see more, so.
I can amend my motion, Mayor,
Okay.
to,
Said
To ex-
original motion has been withdrawn.
I move to approve the invoices as presented with the exception of page 47 of 174.
Yes,
Is
second
anybody-
that.
Motion has been second. I'm sorry.
Good.
Councilman?
That works. He said 47, I just wanted to make sure that was specific to the Milden and Hyde. Okay, yeah, that works.
Motion has been seconded, it is up for consideration. All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries as presented. Okay, moving forward. Mr. Katu, on item 6B, did we already consider that item? That has been pending. The discussion, consideration, and possible action to approve the cyber liability and data breach response.
Mr. Gato does not handle that.
I'm sorry.
That's part of our insurance plan. It's included within the risk pool, so it's just a resolution to expand the term.
Okay. All right.
Staff recommends approval.
Okay. Does anybody have a motion for item 6B as presented?
So moved, Mayor.
I second the motion.
I'm sorry?
He
Second the motion, okay.
Yes.
Motion has been seconded. It's up for vote. All of those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Moving forward to item 7, planning. A, discussion, consideration, and possible action on landowner's petition for release of area from extraterritorial jurisdiction by Victor Daniak, DBA The Rupp Investments LLC under section 42-101 of the local government code.
Good afternoon, Mayor.
Good afternoon, sir.
Hello, sir. This right here is the landowner that wants to petition himself to take themselves out of the 1 mile ETJ. Our legal counsel could probably help us a little bit more, but it's something that they requested back in February.
Yeah, I can add. So the ETJ, there's two definitions for the ETJ with the city. There's a 5-mile definition and a 2-mile definition. And the 2-mile definition comes from Chapter 212 of the Local Government Code, which governs all of the Planning Commission's planning activities. And so in 2023, the Texas legislature adopted into law what would be SB 2038. And what that did is it gave a lot of landowners a lot of leeway or ability to petition out of the 212 ETJ designation. So the commission, as far as SB 2038 is concerned, does not have a lot of options, but what the law requires is that they provide a petition with a signature and a map, and on the city commission's part, or at least the city secretary's part, is just to verify the signature, verify the map, that the petition is complete, and then thereafter to accept that it is complete and permit for what would be the release of the area from the ETJ. Now, this is the first petition of its kind submitted to the commission as part of SB 2038. It does pose challenges, I think, moving forward, but as far as the decision here today, it's just to acknowledge the petition as complete in compliance with 42.104 of the local government code.
And Mr. Peña, essentially, in a nutshell, this essentially means that there's somebody making a petition that doesn't want to be a part of the city, correct?
Well, the city's ETJ, so
Right.
it will turn page 7A, I think it's page 123, page 125 of.
Yeah. And that would mean that the
That's-
services from the city are not going to be necessarily owed to them. Would that be correct?
The city poses a legal question on that matter because there is an interlocal government agreement between the city and the county. Now, that interlocal government agreement, the way that it was drafted, and it's the same agreement that's been used between the two entities for years, never contemplated a situation where there would be a Swiss cheese situation in our ETJ, so to speak. So the agreement contemplates an ETJ, city areas, and county areas, but not necessarily an area where there used to be an ETJ, and now there's a hole or a pocket in our map. That's what we're facing here. So that interlocal government agreement, for reasons that I can specify further in closed session, I think needs to be renegotiated and revisited.
Could we require this particular landowner to have some kind of a warning or disclosure indicating services may or may not be offered to you or to whoever you sell? If it's developed into a residential area and he's selling some lots, land, could we require from him a disclosure in bold that says, hey, FYI, this used to be within our territory, but it's no longer part of us. Services may or may not be offered to you.
There's nothing in the local government code that would preclude that. The only recommendation on that would be to discuss at a future meeting, as soon as possible, the establishment of an ordinance to that effect.
What is the motivation? Do we know what the motivation behind this landowner is to not be part of our ETJ?
The only one that I can think of is they just don't become subject to the planning activities for the city. So when it comes to plating and a lot of the requirements that permits a city to.
Or avoid city taxes?
That could be one as well.
Yeah, but I think from a practical standpoint, the city has a lot more requirement for developers than county. And I think that half acre lots can't be sold here in the city? Has to
Just
be
for
counted?
clarification, ETJ is not necessarily in the city. It's just.
Right.
Right, it's just our extraterritorial jurisdiction, right? But as I said, planning activities only speak to what would be activities that govern the public safety, health, and welfare of a particular area. Say, for example, I guess lot size requirements.
Subdivision requirements, which is street sizes, curb and gutter, drainage plans, et cetera, all that good stuff at the subdivision level. Because they're outside the city limits, there is no building permits required. But again, it would still have to comply with subdivision requirements.
For the county,
For the
yes,
county.
but not the city. City would have no jurisdiction.
And what if in the future we were to annex that?
They would have to request annexation themselves.
They would have to
It would
request.
have to be voluntary annexation. I think the unique challenge that's posed, I don't know that this is in this particular circumstance, but I know there's a trend for the development of properties where they'll say, well, you know what, let's go and put up an electrical post and just allow people to, to move in mobile units or whatnot. And so something like that we would not be able to, right? The city would lose its governance authority, but not by choice. The city has no choice here.
Do you as a city's councilor have a recommendation on this item?
I have a recommendation that is a draft resolution that we did start, but I would put it on the agenda for the next meeting for open session discussion. We can have that draft ready to go.
Should we postpone this item?
This item cannot be postponed, unfortunately.
It cannot.
This one is subject to a 45-day or 30-day shot clock, but it's well beyond that. It's well beyond that.
All right. Okay, any further discussion regarding this?
So what would we have to do in order for you to proceed for the next meeting? Would we have to deny this?
No, this one cannot be denied. This one, it would have to be approved as presented in the packet, and then for that resolution, you can ask City Secretary to place it under the resolution matter for the first reading of the proposed resolution, which will be discussed in open session, and any recommendations the commission makes, we can make the changes leading up to the second reading of the resolution.
So right now, we're bound to, we're obliged to
Ordinance,
approve.
my bad.
To approve.
Ordinance. Yes, sir. So this one would just be to approve what's been presented in the packet and it's my legal opinion that we don't have any.
Not much.
No choice.
Not much of a
As
say.
per legal recommendation, Mr. Mayor, I move to approve as presented.
Anybody seconds that? Item 7A?
I second.
Okay. There's a motion up for consideration. All of those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Moving to 7B, discussion and possible action on variance for wine and malt beverage dealers on-premise permit and food and beverage certificate by Silly Dog Foot Trailer Park LLC. Up for discussion.
Good afternoon again. This is an ordinance we had for distance, you're asking for a variance. The variance is for the 1,000 feet for the property line to the school. And their business is located 848 feet from a school property. If you could see in your package, we did provide a map with the lines. And I believe the owner of the property is here too, if you have any questions for him. And this is located at 1820 Beaumont and Eisenhower.
Okay. And just so that we clarify, there's an application to, so essentially wine and beer at this particular location, right?
Yes, sir.
And the general rule here is that within 1,000 feet from a school premises, you can't sell beer and wine, correct?
Correct.
And the petition today is that we vary from that and that we still grant the variance so that there can be wine and beer sold to the general public within this particular location. Right?
Well, this one, there's a drive-through next door, which is closer to the school,
It is closer.
and it's already selling beer.
But I believe that's a different type of permit. They have to go type of the closed packages, and I believe they want to serve at the location.
Okay, but they open for business during night, right? At night?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, so I guess the consideration is that the drive-through that's there has a permit where it's for for takeout alcohol.
Yes.
You can buy it, take it from there.
Yes.
And the petition for the variance in this one is that there's gonna be consumption within the 1,000 feet. That's a consideration.
And the one that's there right now that has a permit, that was there before Veterans Middle School was there, am I correct?
Yes, sir.
I believe so. It's
So
off
they were-
premise.
they were grandfathered?
Like the mayor said, that one is off premises to go, the other one is for on premise. As a matter of fact, we have an applicant member in the audience if you have any questions also.
Okay. And it's a sure thing that the drive-through does not have that permit for consumption in premises, right?
I believe they don't.
Okay. All right. Well, does anybody have any further discussion, questions? I believe that there's also a representative.
What time do you open, sir?
Yeah, we open right now. Morning, afternoon, everybody. Sorry,
Good afternoon.
So we open based off on, my name's Herbie, by the way, those who don't know me. I'm the owner of City Dog Food Trailer Park. But everybody has their own times. Our average time is at 5 p.m. So we have Tacos Addict from Roma, which is the first one to open. Sometimes they alternate from 4 p.m. Sometimes they open at 5 p.m. But for sure, 5 p.m. and forward, nobody's planning on opening during lunch till school starts again. But even at that, our potential future bar will be from the hours of 4 p.m. and on, you know, just as more of a nightlife, because I'm, for example, not a fan of drinking during the day unless I'm at the beach or something, right? But alcohol and wine is, or beer and wine is huge, like it's just a small minor part of our park. It's just something that's asked for, you know. Some people just want to go eat some tacos and enjoy a beer. You know, everybody's going to be seller server trained to sell, and it's not going to be a type of full-on bar. It's a family-oriented place. If y'all have follow our Facebook page, you will see the details of how we operate there. It's more of a family vibe and a backyard vibe. You get me? So I mean, just the same as having a barbecue in your backyard. You know, you have beer, you have food. Nobody's going crazy. That's our vibe, and that's what we're going for. We're not trying to sell past 10 p.m. during the week. And by law, I mean, we do plan on selling probably till midnight during the Fridays and Saturdays. But it's, again, we just want to try to build something family friendly at our park. And again, beer and wine is something that's requested by the public. You know, some people come out of work and they just want to hang out there and enjoy a beverage. So just to clarify a bit more and give you all more details if y'all have any more questions.
Is there a limit on the number of drinks they can order?
Well, just like any other place, you know, selling one per customer, not two at a time, if that's your question. But
Most of
like every
your
other
customers
place.
drive, am I correct? Most of your customers, it's like a drive-through park, like they drive, they get there, and then they would be, so would you, be keeping track of how much alcohol they're consuming?
Yeah, so we have a dine-in area, so that's what we plan on doing, so just eat. So our park is, we have 5 different trucks right now. One's gonna be opening in July for brisket and barbecue. Our goal is, for example, me and my wife, we like to go out of town or to McAllen. She likes Mr. Krabby's, I like Sawgrass Steakhouse. We can't decide. Here you go, you can pick any place you want and you can sit in the dining area and, you know, have a beer while
I'm
you're
not
there.
familiar with, so the dining area is like a common area? Like a
Yeah,
common area
it's a 30 by
for
30,
other-
yes, sir.
And I guess what his question was,
A cutoff limit?
yes, like,
Yeah.
for example, if you were to designate the area as, you know what, you're gonna be able to have 2 or 3 drinks, and that's gonna be the limit. Obviously, that imposes a burden on you, right? And I think that's what
Yes.
Mr. Olivares is getting to.
It's because we haven't had enough time to invest in that information because we haven't even been approved or given a red light. So for us to be planning on investing our time on,
Didn't the Stripes, didn't we approve something like that for Stripes?
Not the one by across Ricardo Sanchez Elementary, no.
So we approved the one on 83, but not the
The
one on
183, yes, yeah. The
Have they moved on
margaritas.
with that? Do they have on beer premises at Stripes?
They do, all they do is, because they sell margaritas, they're actually to go, and personally, I've never seen anyone buy them, but they sell them at the kitchen where they fix tacos.
Okay, all right. Yeah, actually, there's no area in that side of town that you could actually go and enjoy an alcoholic beverage.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what we're trying to do because we appreciate how supportive everybody is of us bringing something new and saving them time and gas money on coming all the way over here in this part of town. So
So I'm pretty sure your customers will go eat and then take a beer. They're not gonna go take a beer just to take a beer.
yeah, for sure. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
It's like go and eat some tacos or something.
Yeah,
For sure.
Just-
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
the people enjoy just casual, you know.
So it's, again, we're just, beer and wine is just something minor for us. Our main sales is for food.
The last time that I remember a business that was close to a school asking for a variance, we denied it, am I correct? It was.
Correct. That was margaritas at Stripes across,
No, but there was another restaurant, the one that opens up across from Fort Ringo. They were, did they at one time request to sell beer?
I don't recall, but,
Is that Casalode or what are you talking about?
No, I think, was it La Sada?
oh, Lasada, that's
Yes,
correct.
and we denied that.
That is
Because
correct,
of
yes.
the proximity to the school.
proximity, yes.
And my only, for legal, as far as precedents that we have established, could we get like a, that inconsistency with because we previously denied requests like this?
You could deviate from it. The ordinance that's drafted sets that 1,000 bright line rule. Then, of course, you also have the regulations from the TABC, but TABC gives us the authority, this commission the discretion, and our ordinance does as well. So the only requirement here would be just to state for the record the rationale if it is the case that you do intend to approve moving forward. And that rationale would be how there's a public benefit from it.
On another note, permits last 1 year. If the plan department finds inconsistencies or complaints, or the neighborhood saying, you know what, they're making too much noise, or we have arguments, or what have you, the future permit can be denied.
Can it be removed before the deadline? Before a
Yes,
year?
yes,
It
that's
can also be
correct.
removed?
Yeah, the permit can always revoke a permit.
Okay.
The city can always revoke a permit.
And it's almost to 1,000, it's 848.
It's almost, yeah, that's.
Yeah, and it's within reason what you're saying, and very understandable. Our plan is to keep at peace with our neighbors, because I'd be excited, to be honest, if I lived there and somebody opened up a park like that, but at the same time, I don't want anybody, complaining about the noise, which is, I was asked in the meeting before about the live music and all that. That's not our plans right now. Our plan is just to sell food and have a good family time.
So the only word to the commission would be just to state what the rationale would be. That way you could set that precedence now. There will be others that will come before the commission, not necessarily the same type of business structure, but stating the precedence now will make it easier for the commission to deviate if it has to in the future from a similar type of decision.
That will be based, in my opinion, based on the proximity to the school, right? Right now, it's 840. I mean, if it's 500, 600, it will be more difficult. But in this case, this is just my opinion, 840.
The Lasada Grill was how far?
It's right across.
It's right across the highway.
Yeah, that makes a lot of
Do
sense.
you remember the distance?
That's
You're
just
talking
the
about-
You're talking about
measurement of 83, that's it.
Just crossing.
120 feet.
Yeah. 120 feet, okay.
Maybe we can say like anything closer to 750 would not even be taken into consideration. Anything after that, based on the needs of the citizen requesting the request, in this case. That's just my opinion.
Correct.
The only consideration here would be that you gotta remember that there's only one public road from there that goes in and out. You see, so, there's not many areas where you can travel through, so, anyway.
From where to our park or?
Yes.
Yes.
It's got like 3 entrances, right? Like a back road?
Yeah, because we were trying to do one to go directly to Eisenhower, but we couldn't because of the sewer. So you have to go into Beaumont, and then we have our 2 entrances there, and then just to go around the whole neighborhood to come around, but at that, yeah.
It is a family-oriented business. We haven't received any complaints about it. They've been open for a while, and that usually entails to noise or trash, or one of the first questions is, how do you get along with the neighbors? And again, we have not received any complaints.
Okay.
And really, right now, we're at BYOB, so we're still strict on that, you know, everybody brings their own ice chest, and that's something I can't control, you know, because they're bringing their stuff, and it's like just, you know, within reason, but now I get to keep an eye on how much, you know, they're consuming and I can keep a blame on our sellers rather than I don't know, you know, and who are they giving it to, so it's another reason, and just by the way, it's going on right now, and we haven't gotten any complaints either.
Any further discussion?
Just for clarification, so
sir.
if we were to grant a variance, would it be for each individual business, or would each?
It'd be for just the park, yes, sir.
Everybody that's there would have the ability to sell beer and wine?
No, sir, just the park itself, so let's say,
Oh,
for
the
example.
park, okay.
Yeah, just the park itself, which would be under the Silly Dogs LLC.
So it wouldn't be one of the food establishments that's?
No, we're planning on doing a countertop bar there in the.
The other vendors that are there, those are private investors or businesses that come to your park, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Are you gonna have any requirements that they don't sell alcohol and they leave just that to your management, or how does that gonna?
No, yeah, that's already put into place, that only we're gonna be selling the beer and wine for now. So Tacos Alex, he sells in his location in Roma, but he doesn't here, because again, he needs to be approved by the area, so.
Right.
We're gonna provide that.
So there's gonna be only one permit, it's not like each individual business is gonna have their permit?
That can be a covenant that you can create and provide a copy to the planning department also.
For sure.
Because it's gonna be a little bit more difficult to try to keep track if every business is
Oh,
gonna
yeah,
come
for
over
sure.
and apply. And so now you sell 3, 4, 5 drinks to somebody, they can also sell another set of drinks and.
100%, yeah.
Okay. Anything else from the commission?
I so move.
There's a motion
I second
on
that.
7B, has been second. It's up for consideration and approval. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Carries. Moving to 7C. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you all, appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Moving to 7C, discussion and possible action on variance for wine and malt beverage dealers off-premise permit by J&J's Groceries LLC.
Yes, Mayor. This is another variance, but it's a little bit different from the last one. This one is a off-premises permit, and actually the linear feet to a business or a church, it's actually less. It goes to 300 feet. And they're actually at 248, their distance.
So-
And it's to go, everything's to go.
Where is this business, sir?
It's actually on the east side of town, by the railroad tracks.
It used to be El Johnny's right here.
Where it used to be old
Right
Johnny's.
across the church.
Yeah.
Didn't they used to sell alcohol there?
Correct.
Yes, sir.
It used to be Canales Store number 2
Right.
for a long time, and then recently had also licensed, again, a convenience store, because the church is across the street. Church and like schools, they have to be 300 feet away.
And this is within?
248.
But they've had it before.
But then, yeah, it's an
And
on-premise.
and then alcohol to go.
Yeah.
And it's to go.
Yeah.
It's a convenience store.
Okay. Any further discussion on this? No. Okay. Do
I
we have-
move that we approve items, variance for item 7C as presented.
Second.
Motion has been second, up for consideration and approval. All of those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
At this point, we reach to executive session.
The time is 1:29.
The time being 1:29. Okay, so we're back and the time is 2:16, reconvening from executive session and moving forward to item 8A. I believe that there was no action on that. No, I'm sorry, no, not that. 8B and 8C, I believe that there is no action. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Now, the only last action is going to be addressed by Mr. Barrero.
Now, the last action, action 9, we're reconvening to a special meeting and consideration of action on the matters discussed during the executive session, including the following. 9A, discussion, consideration, and possible action regarding personal matters.
Mr. Barrera, I would move that we approve item 9A as discussed in executive session.
Have any second?
I second.
Okay, any discussion? Okay, at this time, we're gonna vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Action passes. Now, 9B and C, no action.
Okay. All right, do we have a motion to adjourn at this time?
Mr. Mayor, I move that we adjourn.
Does anybody second the motion?
Second.
Motion has been
Second.
second. All of those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We adjourn. And I think that at this time, we're announcing Mr. Gilberto Millán as our city manager and Mr. Tony, I'm sorry? Interim city manager. And Mr. Tony Cantu is going to be our planning director. Congratulations to both of you. Thank you so much. And we stand adjourned.